What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this interesting video. Now, I haven't done a White Knight Batman kind of like review really at all, but it is a comic that I have been reading, and after reading it, I really felt I had to bring this to you guys, my lovely subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe down below with notifications on so you never miss a video. And slap a like on it while you're at it as well. You might as well. Come on. But White Knight is amazing. It is just amazing. It possibly might be my favourite comic of the year. I think the real competition of comic of the year for me is actually Mr. Miracle or White Knight. Now, this is the third issue of Batman White Knight, and it is... Now, if you don't actually know what this is, if you're kind of clicking on this being like, what the hell is this? Well, White Knight is actually... We've got the Joker who has been reformed. He's had, like, some tablets and things like that. He has reformed back into Napier, his kind of normal personality, and he's recognised that, well, he was simply just someone who is insane, and there really was no need for Batman to really kind of fight him as he did, kind of go over the top, when it was simply someone who was troubled in the head and needed like some medicine and needed proper kind of care, not a kind of huge kind of billionaire fighting him at all. That's not what he needed, and he got the help he needed. And then he went on a tirade against Batman and the GCPD, and now he's kind of going at Batman from an angle which we haven't properly seen before. So we have, but we haven't. I personally haven't seen what they're doing here, where Batman is actually being taken on by the Joker, and the Joker is actually, well, he's not the Joker anymore. He's his normal guy self, and what he's doing is he's kind of uncovering all the costs. So he's turning the public against Batman from a taxpayer standpoint. And arguably this is a story which really is of its time. The taxpayer ire of kind of real spending and the real 1% thing is something which is very much of its time right now. I mean, you could be a real dick. You could cheat on your wife, but as long as you pay your taxes, the public won't really kind of frown upon you for, you know, cheating on your wife or whatever. But not paying your taxes and being a millionaire, that's unacceptable. And that's really what this is kind of going at here. And they've got a very cool, I love the story of the fact that there is a Batman kind of regeneration fund that is being actually used by the rich. And it's kind of a look into the fact that, well, Batman always has all the fights in the downtown poor areas, but the rich elite are kind of left alone, and people are actually swooping in, buying these kind of cheap places after a Batman fight, and then flipping them for an expensive profit once the Batman Development Fund has actually helped them out and regenerated the area. And that's what the Joker's going at. He's going at the public support, because the public will always support Batman as long as what he's doing is stopping these major criminals. But if he's ruining their house prices, if he is kind of really if he's ruining their lives, well, that's what they're not going to like, and this is what people are going to be against. So the Joker's going at him from a different angle here. Now, I really do like the way they've done this, and we've now got two Harley Quinns, technically. We've got the original Harley Quinn, who kind of had a real troubled, horrible relationship with the Joker, which is something that needs to be looked at, because portraying it as a nice romantic relationship, for me, is very problematic. And I really do cringe when I use that word, but there's no other word I can really describe it, because it shouldn't be portrayed that way at all. And that's what is questioned here, and the Joker actually gets someone else. He kind of replaces her, but this original Harley Quinn comes back when she realizes that the Joker has been reformed, and we get the Neo Joker. So basically, in this issue, what happens is we get a brand new Joker who is a kind of... We've had heroes have their mantles taken over. We've had some villains have their mantles taken over. And now the Joker has finally had this happen to him. I'm sure it has happened in the past, but this is what is happening here. and it's really, really cool. I really, really like it. This is I really can't understand or kind of overstate how good this book really is. And if you're watching this for the first time, you really need to go and read the first two. It just is a real page turner, and I have to read it. I really have to read the next issue, and I'm super excited for the next issue because it's dealing with Batman in a completely different way. It's dealing with the fact that, well, we actually see a major death, and we see Alfred actually die in this. And what happens is, well, Bruce's world is shattered, and his moral compass is gone. And now what he's going to have to do, the Bat family are going to have to rally around him and kind of shepherd him towards having, you know, a proper moral compass. So I really do like the modern take on Duke Thomas. Duke Thomas is an ex-Marine here, and he is someone who is now being targeted by the Joker, as the Duke Thomas of this is actually working on kind of helping the community and things like that, and he's someone who hasn't really come into contact properly with Batman yet. So it's completely changed things here, to be honest. And I love the way that Jason Todd is the kind of the real Batman's Robin, to be honest. And the current Robin is very kind of, you know, not happy with how things have happened, and he was really kind of Alfred's kid. And we've got Batgirl as well, who is a very 3D dimensional character, to be honest. So this book is absolutely amazing. It really, really, really is. You need to read it. It is a must read for this year. It is an absolute must read. So let me know what you think in the comments. Did you enjoy it? I mean, what we've got as well in this issue, which I didn't mention, is the fact that we now have the Joker's up to something. So the Joker is actually, he's united all the villains against Batman. So they've rallied behind the Joker in secret. They are working together, or the Joker's actually kind of working on them. And this Neo Joker's actually going to cause all of these problems and undermine everything that Napier is actually doing. So we have these kind of like Two-Face and things like that working to expose Batman and working to expose what he is and what he's doing. All this kind of, his methods are causing the people real and actual pain, not only kind of physically, emotionally, but also in the wallet as well. So yeah, really, really highly recommend reading this issue and picking it up. I would start from number 1, obviously, if you haven't started at all. Now, next up, we've got huge news, which is kind of brewing at the moment. It's working on. We've got the Fox, well, the 21st Century Fox movie studios possible merger or acquisition by Disney. So Disney are wanting to buy Fox, which would make a hell of a lot of sense, because that then gives them access to X-Men, it gives them access to Fantastic Four, and all of the things that fall under that umbrella of Fantastic Four and X-Men. Now, Fox have been working, they've had deals. Negasonic Teenage Warhead has been used in Deadpool. We've obviously had Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, and subsequently, well, we've had Scarlet Witch in Infinity War and things like that afterwards. So what we've got here is a possible deal, which would be, it wouldn't be Fox merging with them. No, it would be just the film aspects. So the film aspects would be merging. We wouldn't be getting this huge kind of mega conglomerate, but we would. So we're going to get the huge movie studios, and well, we really just want the MCU characters, or we want the Marvel characters to come over, but we'll be getting, well, absolutely everything. So that is brewing at the moment. We've actually had Chris Evans actually tweet about the news. This was broken in a CNBC or kind of news article about it, kind of reporting that the talks are very, very serious and a deal could happen next week. And the fact that Chris Evans is actually joking that he wants a Captain America and Human Torch team up, well, that is something else, to say the least. So that's really, really cool that he's tweeting that, which pretty much confirms it's going to happen. Now, the question is it going to be a takeover, a merger, or is it going to be literally sharing the properties like Sony have done with Spider-Man Homecoming? Because Spider-Man Homecoming was technically a Sony movie. I think they got most of the profits from that, and it's done them very, very well, because the people who actually know how to use the characters are actually using them. And especially after Fantastic Four, that would actually help out that franchise incredibly well. And Marvel are actually opening up and bringing back Fantastic Four very, very slowly, very, very soon. So that they actually cancelled the Fantastic Four book and really most of the merchandise when the new Fantastic Four movie was being created and came out. So they got a bit angry at that. Now, it does raise the question of what will happen with X-Men, because obviously we've got New Mutants, we've got the Dark Phoenix kind of storyline going on, and the actual X-Men movie coming out. We've got Deadpool 2. Now, will they be merged in? Will the Infinity Gauntlet merge all of these universes? And will we see the current X-Men climate come in? These are all questions which need to be answered. But I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm hoping that they just start afresh with X-Men. I don't want the Fox continuity. I'm hoping they can blend in Deadpool, because that's doing really well. But we've also got Gifted, which is very good, and Legion as well. But X-Men needs to be united together under one banner, in my opinion. So they can't have a Gifted TV show not being in the Legion universe. You can't have a Deadpool movie outside of Gifted or Legion and things like that. They need to be all together in their own X-Men universe as part of the MCU. So what I would want is them to actually come together in Avengers versus X-Men, which will be the next kind of big thing. So the next 10 years will be the Avengers versus X-Men. So that could be Phase 4. So that is it for this video. Please drop a like. Please do subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.